Welcome to the Building Thriving Lifestyles podcast, where we talk about high-intensity training, nutrition, gut health, recovery, mindset, goal setting, and productivity. My name is Sara Sigmundsdottir, and I know a thing or two about setting big goals and going after them. I love to set the bar high and to take on challenges, and I've done some pretty cool things in the past. So make sure to lean back and let's dive into today's topic that will help you chase big dreams compassionately and achieve your goal, all while being in balance with yourself and others. Hello, Sara, and thank you so much for joining me.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's great speaking to you in English when we both speak Icelandic.
I know, it's a little bit weird. I really like that your English is now sounding more with an Irish accent. It's also one of my favorites.
Yeah, I've been around a lot of Irish people the last few months, so it might have had an effect, you know.
I love it. I also love that we kind of swap turns. I used to be in Dubai and you in Iceland, and now it's the other way around.
We switch places. Yeah, you're in the cold, I'm in the heat. I'm in my element, you're in your element.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe both is my element.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much for joining us. I have been admiring you both from a distance, but we've also had some deep chats, you and I.
Have.
And you kind of like, even though you're younger than me, like by 3 years, you're still like a role model. So
I'm an old soul, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But you're definitely one of these CrossFit heroes that is on the famous side. So a lot of people know you. But how would you explain your life to a complete stranger that didn't know about CrossFit?
I would say that I still don't understand why people know me. I lift weights and I train, and I'm pretty lucky that I can do that every day and count that as a job. Mm-hmm. Like I do what I love every day, and I think my story has helped people and inspired people. Is that I didn't have an athletic background, and you know there's like this standard of when you're a specific age you shouldn't start sports, but I think that I've at least tried to prove that that's wrong. Like age is just a number. You can always start training. You can always improve your health in some kind of way, and I think maybe that's one of the reasons why people know who I am, is because my story is maybe different from other athletes.
Yeah,
I didn't expect to reach it to this state.
What do you mean when you say it's different? What elements of it do you think is different from?
I think that so how I grew up is that I was very shy, very into myself. I didn't do anything unless my friends were with me doing something. Mm-hmm. So, which is a complete difference of who I am today. Something just shifted when I was 17. Like I was always very insecure about myself. I was different for girls, or that's how I felt. I was strong. I was embarrassed of being strong. I was embarrassed that if I could beat the guys in a sprinting stuff, like I would be embarrassed because I would be a girl, and I shouldn't be able to do it. But still inside me, I loved it. But it was just like you had to fit a specific box, and I think I tried for so many years to fit in that box, but somehow I just never fit. And then I had just accepted when I was like 16, 17 that I wasn't good in anything. I was just a normal person that was medium good in everything that I did. Like I didn't find anything that I was very, that I loved so much that I obsessed about. Like I've always been very much into music, and I think that was what I did before I found sports. Like I played drums, I played piano, and so I shifted a little bit from that when I started training. And I actually just started training to lose weight so I could find a boyfriend, because all my friends were meeting guys. So I was like, fuck, if I want to find a guy that I actually like, I need to lose weight. So that's how I started. I was trying to lose about 8 kilos or something. I did in the end. Gained it now in muscle, but that's another story.
That's a whole different story.
That's a whole different story. But yeah, so when I was 17, like I had a coach there. So I just started like a boot camp seminar,
Mhm.
and a coach there complimenting me. And just by getting that one compliment, I was
Mm.
like, whoa, he saw something different in me that nobody else has seen before.
Mhm.
Maybe I am special in
Yeah.
some kind of way. And yeah, from there, my confidence just grew. And what, 3 years later, from starting to do any sports at all or any training, I made it to regionals.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference in my story. It's like the girls that I compete against, and you know this best yourself, is like the athletic background is insane. It's like gymnastics, running, swimming, football, everything. And then I come in and I'm like this old dog that's learning
Sit.
how to sit. Yeah.
Do you know how
So
to sit?
I actually don't. Not in a good spot position as it is, but I will learn in the
We're
end.
working on it. Working on it.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Definitely. And I've been one of those girls that is competing against you in many of those
Yeah,
competitions.
exactly.
So I've
Yeah,
really
exactly.
been there like firsthand, seeing how your kind of confidence has grown through the years.
Yeah, and it's insane. Like I like my first regionals, I actually didn't finish because I was just so stressed. I'd never been on a big stage before. I've never competed in front of people. Like I
Mhm.
competed a little bit in Iceland like the year before, but like athletes, and you know this yourself because you have a sports background, it's like you are almost like growing up by competing, and
Mm.
like you learn a little bit about how your body is reacting to competing,
Competition
to
and
stress and
yeah.
everything. Yeah, being under pressure. This is what I was experiencing when I was 18 years old. And like I had this bad angel on my shoulder that was always telling me like, you don't belong here, you're not an athlete, you should just stop. And then you have this other stubbornness that's like, nothing's gonna stop me.
Mhm.
I can do whatever I want if I put hard work into it.
Definitely.
So
No,
yeah,
it's
so I
a
think that's the difference in me and maybe other athletes.
mhm. No, for sure. And like one of the things that's really struck me through the years with just like being on the sideline is your resilience. Like you have come back from pretty much everything and you're
Yeah,
always going strong with spirits high. That's really, really motivating.
I I'm very lucky. My dad is a very positive person.
Hmm.
So I grew up with a very positive mindset and only thinking solutions. Like
Hmm.
if it was if something was wrong, my dad would always find a way to make it positive, to make
Hmm.
me not be so negative about it. So I think that mindset is just like as soon as something bad happens, I go straight away to like, okay, this is what is going on now.
Hmm.
There's no time or anything to be feeling sorry for myself or anything.
Hmm.
I just need to do what needs to be done so I can get back here.
Yeah. So you like
So putting
reframe it and focus on the
yeah,
things that you can
reframe it.
control. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that, of course, I struggle a lot. Like one day I have huge belief that I can come back and everything. And
Hmm.
then the other day just, I'm wasting my time doing this almost because I'm so far behind. Like this is
Yeah.
how
It
your brain
goes
works. Yeah,
back
it's
and forth.
protecting you, your ego. Yeah. So, like I started my CrossFit career by breaking my wrist in a snatch. So
Mhm.
like it's been from day one where I've had to deal with things.
Mm.
And like I feel how it started was that so many things were taken away from me.
Mhm.
And I just thought about this as like, okay, these are just the hills that I need to climb over, and
Mhm.
there's gonna be bigger hills,
Mm.
and that's just all part of the journey.
Yeah.
And I think that the biggest thing that I've learned in this journey is that sports is almost like it's almost preparing you for everything that's going to happen to you in your life.
Mhm.
And especially if you go through injury, going through an injury is the same as like same process as if you lose somebody that's close to you. You go
Yeah.
through grief, you
Like
go through anger, you go through
denial and
sadness,
all
yeah,
the seven
denial, and
stages. Yeah.
yeah. So it's so interesting how you like. I never thought about sports in that way. It's a
Mhm.
game in my eyes, but then
Yeah.
it teaches you so much about how to deal with things.
Absolutely. I would definitely agree with that. I feel like the
Yeah,
experience of competing has taught me how to deal with almost
yeah,
everything else.
exactly. Yeah.
But like we know that you love to train, we know that you love to slam some heavy barbells and all of that.
Oh yes, yes.
But what do you like to do when you're not working or training, sleeping
Yeah.
or eating? What do you like to do?
Oh, so many things. I have such a big bucket list of what I want to do. So I on my list now is that I actually just finished the private pilot lessons
Hmm.
in last off season. So I definitely want to do more of that. It's hard to balance the being a professional athlete and having this amount of time in your day, and you have
Schedule,
to
yeah.
almost you have to schedule it so good. So it's almost just off season where you can do the fun stuff
Hmm.
like this off season. I've decided I want to learn how to dive, and
Hmm.
it's also on the list. I want to learn how to sail.
Hmm.
So I have a long list. I'm also studying psychology,
Hmm.
uh so yeah, so there's so many other things that I'm interested in,
Yeah,
and it's
just
also
keeping
just
your
the simple
brain
things.
fueled.
Yeah, and it's also just the simple things of just seeing my friends and just have nothing to think about than to spend time with them,
Hmm.
going out for dinner with people that you love, and like the simple things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You mentioned this a little bit with the balance between being a competitive athlete and
Yeah,
just life. How do you
yeah.
find yourself navigating that? Like, how do you, like, what is a balance to you? What does that look like?
It's it can be very hard to balance, to be honest. Like I I think that I've learned it through the years. So like I'm a very obsessive person. When I like something, I want to become very good at it, and it's the only thing on my mind. But it can be so destructive because you almost you get fatigued in your mind of
Yeah.
overthinking stuff. That's how I think about it. It's like
Yeah.
how do I know when I'm overdoing something versus I'm doing the right amount of something, and then I need to balance it by doing something completely different. And
Different.
that's what it did. Yeah, that's what it did with pilots, like the
Hmm.
private pilot. So I last year I was coming from the ACL tear, and it was a lot of pressure of like I tore my ACL, and my mind is straight on how do I get back to the competitive
Hmm.
side. So there was no off season almost. Like you
No.
think about off season of not training, but it's so mentally tough to be
Mhm.
injured and seeing everybody else compete and how far you're actually behind and how do I get back? How will I ever squat again? How will I ever go under load again without thinking about my ACL tearing? Like
Mhm.
all these small things. And it's almost that taught me how to shift that away and see that your career isn't the most important thing in life. It's actually the journey of your career,
Yeah.
of how do I use my career to actually enjoy like traveling and everything, but
Hmm.
also with training.
Hmm.
So it's I ask myself the questions of like, how do I know when I'm that fatigued mentally?
Hmm.
And if I am that fatigued mentally, okay, I need to have a night out with my friends, like not drinking or anything, but just switch off. And I need to
Yeah.
see friends that don't even know what CrossFit is and don't
Yeah.
really care what CrossFit is. Just something completely different. And that almost like balances it out because then I take the
Mm.
pressure off me of like there's more to life than just trying to make it to the
Athletes,
CrossFit
Sarah.
Games
Yeah.
again. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's
Exactly.
like you have these different caps on. That's how I think about it. It's like I have my athlete cap on as soon as I'm wearing my training shoes or as soon
Hmm.
as I walk into the gym. Then I'm an athlete. As soon as I leave the gym, I'm back to being normal Sarah
Hmm.
that loves food and loves making food to watch something while I'm eating and like just like these
Different.
different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Personalities
it's
almost within yourself.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and it's allowing yourself to take the cap off when you're at home.
Yeah.
I was very bad at like if I had a bad training day, I would sabotage myself so much of being
Mm.
like, fuck you did shit. You are you now you're going way back. Like you have to go again tonight. If you don't finish your training,
Yeah.
you won't be as good. And like
Mm.
this like detrimental thinking.
Hmm.
I think detrimental is the right word.
Yeah. Or like being
Like
too
the
hard on yourself, kind of thing. Like
yeah,
punishing
being
yourself
too
for not being
yeah,
perfect.
yeah, and punishing yourself for what every athlete is experiencing and
Mm.
almost making it worse by punishing yourself instead of just like, hey, you showed up in the gym today, you didn't feel
Hmm.
like it at all. Here's a clap on the back and
Yeah.
let's continue.
That's,
Tomorrow's a new day
yeah.
and just focus on that. Don't focus on what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's of course that's so challenging some days, especially like now I can feel it. I'm 4 weeks out of semifinals, and
Mm-hmm.
last year I didn't make it to the game, so I'm putting extra much pressure on myself of like, is it enough what I've done this year? Am I actually good enough still? Am I gonna get the slap in the face again this year? Will I give up if I get a slap in the face? What's gonna happen
Mm-hmm.
at semis? And then I'm like, okay, Sarah, first of all, you're 1% of this world
Yep.
that's a professional athlete. You should just be happy where you're at. And if you're giving it all the effort that you can, you're on the right path.
I was going to say, you're almost 1% of the 1%. You're actually one of those athletes that have a full-time living of the competing.
Yeah, I'm so lucky. Like, and sometimes you get lost in the competitive thinking and the ego thinking of just like the result is the only thing that matters. It's so far from being it. It's like I don't know how many young girls I've met that have told me that I've changed their lives just because they saw me competing 2015 or something, and they knew my story and they started doing sports, and now they're doing CrossFit and their best friends are
I'm
in
like
CrossFit.
getting
It's just like,
goosebumps.
yeah, but this is the insane part of like sometimes when I have a meet and greet, I'm like holding back the tears because it's just like I can't believe that it's me. Yeah, I can't believe that it's me that has helped somebody. So it's very interesting because you always think about a professional athlete, the only thing they do is the sport. It's so much more than that.
Yeah. What are some of the other things that fill your life? Like, I understand that like private Sara and training Sara, they're kind of there. What other kind of roles do you feel like there is in the professional athlete?
The professional athlete, like
what other roles do you have to fill if you have?
Yeah. I would say that I like the non-athlete Sara, and I would call it the free spirit Sara. That just goes with the flow a little bit of like, I think like probably all of the athletes have like their base where they live for the full year and have a plan and everything. I am a butterfly, and that's how I function best. If I have a too structured plan in front of me, I don't function. I'm just like there has to be fun around everything that I do. So I think the free spirit Sara is there. Like, I have this bucket list of the places I want to go, and hopefully I can host a seminar at the same time and meet new people. And it's just like, I think that life is so much about meeting new people in different places and trying to learn as much from everybody that you can, and different cultures. And so I would say, I would say there's a study Sara, there's the athlete Sara,
Free
free
spirit,
spirits,
hippie Sara,
hippie Sara, sailor Sara.
Yeah.
So there are many caps there, but I might need more hours in the day also.
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
Have you ever done any work on your kind of values? Do you know what values you hold most close to your heart? Is that something that you kind of operate with?
Yes, I've done a lot of, like, I wouldn't say that I've written them down and that I read them every day or something, but I've always had very specific values of like, you should treat everybody the same way. Like, that's my main value, is that I would never look at somebody and think that they're lower than me or higher than me. Like everybody is equal. And then there's just these normal values of how you like, how you spend your day almost, and how you like I think about it as like, I'm a person who does this so I can remind myself of actually who I am.
Yeah.
So like, I'm a person that eats healthy and tries to inspire people to improve their health, like something like those kind of values.
That are kind of your operating with. I also hear a lot of like the freedom is definitely one of those values that you're
like you have to
with.
Like, my values are like almost based on how I think about it in a very weird way. So like, I think about myself as an 80-year-old, and I'm like telling my grandchildren all my stories of when I was young, and I want them to barely believe that they actually happened, because
I mean, some of your stories are definitely there.
that is actually true. So like, my values are mostly like based on that, of just like all the things that you that you want to experience. Like for me, traveling, free spirit, all that stuff. Like I don't want to think back and think, oh, I was trying to be somebody else at that time, and that's why I didn't do this stuff. I
Yeah.
was trying to fit into this box. Like my biggest value is like embrace your uniqueness and like listen to yourself. I think that so many, especially girls, unfortunately to say this, is they're always trying to fit in somebody else's eyes because they think they should be a specific way. And I think like how I started seeing this differently was like, I remember when I started training, I was like, oh, I'm never gonna be a girl that has muscles. That's disgusting, especially neck muscles. Like this was just the thing when you start training. I was like, oh, I'll never lift weights or anything. And then I found CrossFit, and because of CrossFit, like you're doing all this hard work, and your body is just showing you the hard work that you're doing, and looking at it in that kind of way of like, I'm actually using my body and I'm pushing myself to the limit of what it's capable of doing. And that makes a person so attractive. It's not, it's like if you think about the people that are very attractive, it's because they have embraced their uniqueness. Like my uniqueness is different than your uniqueness. And if you would try to fit the boxes of my uniqueness, you wouldn't like, it would just be, you wouldn't shine as much or the opposite, you know what I mean?
It would be weird.
Yeah.
I don't really feel the same shoe print or whatever you mean.
But I mean, I can see you sail a boat though. I'll admit that. Yeah.
I was going to say the parents-in-law are currently sailing around the Caribbean. Maybe I'll send you to.
Yes. Oh, that is actually my dream.
I honestly cannot think of anything worse than to be stuck onto a boat. I want to be on land.
Live on a boat. Yeah.
I would be happy with a van life. Van life is good for me, but boat, no.
I mean, yeah, van life is definitely on the list also, but also living on a sailing boat for like 3 to 6 months.
Fair enough.
And not wearing shoes the whole time. Like that's my main goal.
Oh, well, I guess you're in the right place in Dubai. You don't really have to wear Birkenstocks.
No, exactly. I'll probably end up in Byron Bay.
Byron Bay.
In Australia, the hippie place.
That's a very hippie place. That's true. That leads me straight into the next one that I kind of wanted to hear. How do you think your values and your kind of guidelines in life different from other people? Have you run into anything where you're like, oh my God, I'm so different on this aspect, or anything like that?
Is overthinking count?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely an overthinker and in that area, but I would say I don't really know actually if I'm that different.
You mentioned a little bit.
What would your opinion be?
No, I just stumbled across when you mentioned that like other athletes were like really structured and scheduled in their kind of approach, whereas you like to be more like a free spirit. Is that something like, do you see other CrossFit athletes that are similar to you, or do you think that's something like very unique to you?
I haven't found anybody that's maybe that much. Like I use a lot of creativity also to like what do you say, like to balance like what we were talking about before of like I draw a lot, and I have a lot, like my imagination is very good and my creativity is very good, and that's a little bit also how I can balance of if I'm fatigued or not. But I would say I actually don't know about any other CrossFitter that lives this suitcase life like me, to be honest. Maybe Con Porter.
KP would definitely fit somewhere in there.
KP is like 12 levels above me in that area.
In the free spirit.
Yeah,
he's currently here in Iceland.
Yeah, exactly. Research places, yeah.
Absolutely. Are you currently facing any challenges in life? Is there anything that you're kind of currently applying your values and kind of struggling with?
I would say that I'm still trying to come back from a very bad injury, and I did not know how mentally tough it would be. Let's say that of like the stages of coming back from it. Like I didn't think it would take this long. I didn't think I didn't think that I would have such a hard time trusting my body. I didn't think that I would think about it almost every day and in every session. Like I always thought it's gonna be 6 months and then it's done. And it's been 2 years now. And I'm still learning how to deal with my body. So I would say that what I'm dealing with is just learning how to accept what has happened to me in my career and trying to grow again. Like it's almost like when you like this setback now has been the biggest setback that I've had, and it's made me question a lot of like, will I be able to come back? Will I be able to be the same athlete? Have I lost what I used to have? And I think this year is definitely I'm back on track on believing that. But last year it was just like this. You were just fighting every day. Yeah, fighting with it and being a victim of why has this happened to me? Why does this not happen to anybody else? Why have I broken my wrist and 2 ribs and an ACL tear? Why like
that is
how, yeah,
it's a big chunk.
Like it's a big chunk of stuff and like you know that all athletes deal with stuff, but maybe it's not on the board. So like it's been I think that's the biggest challenge is that not becoming a victim of what's happened in my career and actually embracing it and using it to my advantage of like I've never been so thankful. Like if I think about the ACL tear, I've never been so thankful that I'm back on track and everything because when you're on that stage or in that stage, it is hard to believe that you'll ever come back. And that's where the small steps come in of like how I dealt with the ACL tear was that I thought about it as like, so if you run a marathon, you don't think about the 42K the whole time. You think about 1K at a time and what pace you're going to hold to reach your goal. Yeah. So that's how I thought about my ACL tear was like, okay, I have these different phases and I just need to check in every phase. So yeah, so first 2 weeks was complete rest. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do in this complete rest to make myself, to know that I'm actually doing something beneficial for myself? So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this essay about, maybe this wasn't the best essay, but I was studying psychology and sports psychology at the time. So I was doing an essay about burnout and injuries involving a burnout. So I learned a lot.
Like it's all my fault.
Yeah. It's like, why didn't I read this a year ago?
But they do say that every time someone writes a book or like an article or something, it's like a note to self. So maybe this was a note to self. Like you needed it at that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I definitely needed that more. I learned a lot there. So I think, yeah, it's mostly just that I'm still dealing with.
But I get so interested because you are describing this like this was a not productive time of your life because you've been injured. But you had how many clothing lines?
Yeah, it actually like the things that I have achieved the last 2 years are insane. Like
it's unreal.
But you know, when you're a competitor, you only have this goal of you're trying to win a competition, and when you see that that's not in front of you, you don't feel like you're going in the right direction.
Succeed, because that was exactly my next question. It's just like, how do you measure success in your kind of career and life, and what does that look like?
Yeah, what I've learned now is just I put myself in my shoes 10 years ago, and I would ask myself then, where do you think you're going to be in 10 years? And I would never guess that I would be where I am now.
No.
Like I was going to be a marine biologist at that time, or
still valid.
So yeah, exactly.
Fits well with both life.
My sailboat. Exactly. Yeah. So it's just insane of what I have achieved, but I'm not fulfilled yet. Like I still feel that I haven't, you know, you have a career and you feel that you have reached your full potential. And I feel that my potential hasn't been reached because I've had some setbacks, and I feel that I won't settle until I feel like that I've reached my full potential.
Got you.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I feel like these last 2 years weren't productive enough, but they actually were very productive.
Super productive. On a whole different scale.
Yeah, on a whole different scale. So yeah.
What is your kind of biggest motivation to get back? Is that to scratch that itch and achieve a certain performance or get to a certain place, or what does that look like?
I think my biggest motivation is like I said, when I started, like I'm a bit different athlete than other athletes because I don't have a background. So I would say that my biggest motivation is that I want to win the CrossFit Games, to be able to say that you don't have to have an athletic background to reach your goal. Like you don't have to, if you set your mind to something, you can reach it. And I think that's like, I think if I win the CrossFit Games, like I know that I have achieved a lot of good competitions and everything, but it's something about actually achieving that just makes it so much better. Of I've come far, but I want to go the full way of like yeah.
Gotcha.
And I want girls that have the same thoughts as I had when I was 15 years old. Of like, I don't have any talents, I don't have anything. I want them to look at me and think, she just put in hard work and she was stubborn and she got this far.
Yeah.
Maybe if I do this now, then I can get this far too.
So kind of like
instead
prove that the hard work beats talent, kind of.
Yeah, hard work beats talent. Yeah, 100%. And also just like hard work and just like you say, like resilience of you have to believe in the process and you have to believe in yourself. Of no matter what day it is, and if you doubt yourself, like you have to keep on going. You always get the reward in the end. Like that's how I think about it. Is that doesn't matter. Like day after surgery, I had no belief that I would ever come back, like on crutches and everything. And then it's like, I'm not thinking about it at that time. I'm like, okay, these are the 2 weeks that I need to be doing this to be able to go here. So it's having these steps of
breaking the diet,
where you want to go. Breaking it down. Yeah. So I think
how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But I would never eat an elephant, to be honest.
No elephants. Okay. Fair enough. But small steps, eatable chunks.
Yeah, small steps. Yeah. And I think that's the reason why I want to win, is because I want to be able to actually like achieve that goal of going all the way.
Well, we're rooting on you for the next step of this journey. So best of luck with the training for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah. Thank you.
And hopefully, I'm kind of like looking into if I can go to Berlin in June. We'll see.
I think you should. Yeah. I think you should. I can't imagine competing there without you.
No, this is true. I was there last year.
We'll go. Yeah, exactly. And then we'll
find the Jewish
go out
place
after. Like, exactly.
Find the Jewish place, like in Amsterdam.
Yeah, like my boy David owns in Amsterdam. Oh, I would love to go there again.
I'm going to Amsterdam on Sunday. I'll say hi to him.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
What do you consider the best part of your day, and why is that the best part of your day?
Best part of the day. It's just hard. I would say it's like the end of the day when you're driving home after you've achieved so many things in the day, and you're like proud of yourself, and you know that you have a very good food coming up because you're gonna make a fiesta, and you have good tunes on, and you're just like it's time to relax. Like that feeling of the day is like you've accomplished a lot of things.
Yeah, you mentioned this in your car. Do you do some kind of a ritual at the end of the day? Do you play like a specific song or put a playlist on,
it just depends on
what you've done.
Yeah, 100% reflecting and just like going through like what could I have done something better today? Could the day have been different? What was the best part of the day? What kept me, or like what can I repeat that I did today that's gonna benefit me for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like just those kind of things. And then it just depends on what song I'm currently overplaying at the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you a repeat song player?
I'm such a repeat song player. Yeah, like for a long time. This is the reason why I have my own gym in Iceland.
Yeah, so
nobody can have any comments on that.
No,
yeah,
this is true. What is your current favorite repeat song? That's too personal.
I'm trying to find it now. I don't have a song at the moment, so
Gee.
no. Yeah.
Look into that one.
oh yeah, it's because I'm not training in Sim Gym. I don't need a repeat song at the
No, this
moment,
is true.
but I actually have also like a few playlists that shuffle sometimes, and like I love calm indie rock at the end of the day, or like deep house or something like that. Yeah,
bring down the vibes from all the tak from training.
From all the tak. Yeah, exactly.
For
exactly.
Sure. Do you have a role model? Is there someone
I
that
have
you
so
think
many.
of? Yeah, that you look up to?
I mean, so when I started CrossFit and how I accepted body image and everything, that was like Ronda Rousey at that time. I remember that she was a badass in the cage. She looked like when she was sweaty and just like, I wouldn't say disgusting, but like, like
raw. Yeah.
Yeah, like raw. And then she puts on a dress and she looked gorgeous. And I was like, I wanna be like that. Like I wanna have that switch of, I want people to think, is she a CrossFitter or is she a athlete? Like when they see me not in the athlete uniform here. But I think that was like how she was the first role model that I had in the sports.
That kind of embraced herself as she was, and all her,
exactly.
feminine, masculine vibes at the same time,
she
kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And she didn't care that people were giving her shit and like beating up guys and everything. Like she just trained with guys, and I just found that so like
motivating.
It's so cool. Yeah, like she wasn't afraid, and I think that's what inspired me so much. And then it's just, I mean, like Kobe Bryant, of course.
Yeah.
His method of trying to do more than just being an athlete, like embracing his greatness of the Mamba mentality of trying to inspire young kids, or mostly young kids. Well, he inspired me also, but I would say I'm a young kid also. But
old lady and young kid.
Yeah. Exactly. So I would say that his way of using what he had done in his career and trying to transform it to the next generation is what I find very, very good. But then of course MJ is always number one.
I mean, it's difficult to debate his work ethic.
Yeah, exactly. And also just like the beginning of his career when he wasn't tall enough, when he was like people didn't believe, and then he just proved them wrong. I love that.
It's so interesting when you mention these three, just as like a highlight of someone that you look up to, that you kind of combine both the hard work and the legacy thinking, and then also like the pure rawness of like embracing the body as it is. It's like, I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally see how those are the role models.
They can see this now. Yeah. Exactly.
If you got to pick the legacy that you would leave for the next generation or for young girls or whatever, what is it that you would want to be remembered for?
Well, that is a deep question. I think I mean, that's pretty similar to the goal of I want to remember it of helping young kids, of actually believing themselves, and that I set the root of if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Not even just young kids, just whoever.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can it also be someone who's older than you?
Like, yeah.
I'm in that camp.
I mean, I find it so inspiring. Like the Scott Pantic was coaching a older guy that had like his knees were just ruined, and he started CrossFit, and 3 years later he's able to squat and everything, and they did an interview with him and he's almost like crying, and it's like this is what it's about. It's about helping others and actually setting or like showing people that it is possible, and that anything you set your mind to, you can do. And I think that's what I want to be remembered for, is like, if you want something, you have to go for it, and you will achieve greatness.
Yeah. Put in the work, be resilient, and don't stop just because something doesn't go right. Just keep
exactly like it's all about, like, I know I'm maybe crazy saying this out loud, but it's all about like, I have faith that everything will be provided at the right time, and I've always had that faith. And there's no science behind it or anything. I don't care, but I still like. There are so many things that have happened to me in my career that are the perfect timing of each state. So
I mean, there is science behind it. It's called something like reticulum, something.
oh,
There is like a
oh
science
really?
behind it, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Your brain starts looking for the things at the right time, or like it's like when you
Yeah.
see a car, like you're
Yeah,
like, oh, I
yeah.
want to buy this car, and then you start seeing it
Yeah.
everywhere. It's kind of like
Everywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
So there is some neuroscience behind it. Not that I can quote
Yeah.
them correctly right now, but I can maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. Then I don't feel as crazy saying this out loud.
Definitely not. No, for sure.
So yeah, I think that's what I want to be remembered for. Yeah.
That is a big one, but I do think that you are pretty much almost achieving it. I would say I've also been influenced in that direction. So you're on the right track.
I'm on the right track. That's good to know. Very good to know.
Definitely. Anything else you want to add to this that you feel like we've not been around?
No, not that I can think of, at least.
I think the only question that I still have on my mind is when we say cooking up a fiesta, what's your favorite foods? I feel like I want to know.
Oh my God. So what I say when I mean fiesta is that it has to be multiple foods.
Okay. So you like a buffet style meal kind of thing?
Yeah, so like on a Friday night, you saved yourself the full week. So you have to have a pizza, you have to have guacamole, you have to have this, whatever you're craving at that moment.
And are you like sweet and salty can't touch, or is it guacamole on pizza?
No.
No. It has to be
sweet meals. Like it has to be chocolate and popcorn at the same time. So you get the sweet and the salt.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm definitely there. I'm a mixer. Yeah. But it just depends on what mood I'm in, like that evening.
Fair enough.
What the fiesta is. But usually I will admit that pizza is like the basic, or like I'm always in the mood for pizza, you know?
Always in the mood for pizza, definitely. And we're recording this on a Friday, so hopefully there is
it is pizza night tonight. Yeah. Yes.
Like I might need a pizza tonight.
I think so too. Domino's.
Nah. Maybe I'll find something else.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. This has been so insightful. And like I said, I'm still just thinking about your 3 idols. And I'm like, that makes so much sense.
This makes all sense now. Yes.
But thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And we shall catch up later.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will see you Monday.